Everything good.
We are live.
All right, cool.
We are live.
Facts, man.
Oh my goodness.
It's gotta be like 4 Tuesdays in a row. It
Right.
gotta
We
be
should
like 4 Tuesdays in a row.
consistency is key. That's what they always say.
It is, because I'm not gonna lie, we've been on the road, but we are back with another installment of Cultivating Conversations, DP Squared, the best podcast in all the DMV. Tell your friends, tell your grandmother, tell everybody about the podcast. And I'm here, your host, DeAndre, with my co-host.
Deja.
And we are very appreciative to be here today. I will not cap to you.
Mm-hmm.
So how you been doing before we get to everything?
I've been doing good. I had a great weekend last weekend. It was a lot of fun. We were celebrating Mother's birthday, so that was fun.
Kudos to her.
Yep, shout out to her. Shout out to all the Sagittarius that might be in the building. But I had a good time. And then, but the past week was like a little rough, but it's getting back into the groove. It's getting better. So I'm glad to be back here. I always feel like I'm in good spirits every time we get on the pod. So
facts. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely been a fluctuating week for a brother. If I can't cap, it's definitely been fluctuating just with everything.
Yeah.
Just school's coming to a decline. A lot of pressures with studying and just trying to balance so much at once. So
yeah,
that's really been the thing with me. But other than that, though, I hope everybody watching has been good. It's been a weird week with weather, I must say.
Yeah.
It's been hot, it's been rainy, it's been freezing. So hopefully everybody watching is doing well. But I mean, is that everything? Ready to get straight into the topics or what?
Yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
Okay.
Let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, we were trying to come up with we were trying to think of different like topics and stuff. We always try to figure out like what's happening in the current state of the world or whatever. And so we started talking about artificial intelligence, which is not a new topic for us really, but I guess we wanted to talk about it in a certain kind of way. But ironically enough, when we were trying to figure out a title for this podcast, we were like, it would be funny to use AI to come up with a title for the podcast.
Yes.
Like
ironically.
Ironically, right? So we used ChatGPT to come up with our title, which is, I want to get it correct. It's like AI 1, humans 0, meaning we are not, I don't think we're winning this battle when it comes to AI, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because we wanted to know like, talk about how bots are winning the battle of common sense, which
I think that's a good place to start because I wanted to see what you thought about the whole common sense conversation, because a lot of people are saying that with AI, the increasing of AI, the dumber that we would get. So what do you think?
I would love to know what other people think too.
True.
But I think that is the case. I think that is the case. I think that because we have the use of certain technologies, it is making people dumber. Like they're relying less on their own brain and relying too much on. I think it needs to be a happy medium, a happy balance, like between using your resources, but not solely relying on it. And I'm speaking for myself, because if we're just talking about just simple navigation and maps, I can't go anywhere without the navigation.
Facts.
But before, you had to really memorize streets, know how to get places, understand like the different roads or just everything, and it made you more sharp. But it's like, even with me, if I go out, I'm like, how to get here. Like, right. So I'm not trying to blame on any. I'm just saying throughout everyday experiences, I do feel that is making people less resourcely for themselves. What do you think?
Yeah. So before I get into what I think, I want everybody, if you don't know what AI is, AI is the ability of machines to learn, reason, and act in ways that mimic human intelligence, usually to perform tasks quicker and more efficiently. But to get on your point, what I think about AI is I do believe that common sense isn't going away, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
I believe that common sense is a human experienced task. So for common sense to be produced for AI, it will have to know human experience. So I don't believe that it is naturally trained to conduct those type of assumptions or decisions. But what I do believe, though, which I still think is on the common sense type of range, is what I think we're both kind of talking about is like critical thinking skills.
Right.
And I feel like we'll get into that later down the road. But I do believe that AI is, like you said, dumbing us down critically, where we can't, where we like. I believe that humans in nature, and hopefully people making an agreement, are just naturally lazy.
Yes.
In a way that we would rather sit and not take the extra step to read that article or read how to structurally write a paper or answer a certain question. We rather just search it up or put in chat GPT to answer the question. In that instance, I believe that it is
And to be
affecting
fair, I was going to say, to be fair, a human had to create artificial intelligence. So
True.
that in itself does show that people are smart enough to figure something out. I just think that now it's become a point where people, but basically what I already said, like they just rely too heavily on it. So that is just weird to me.
Yeah, I believe that AI, especially, and I know we'll get into this later. I know it's talking pretty generally loud, but I think that in a curriculum setting or in a setting where you have to, you're not just not no hatred, but you're not just like working at a fast food chain where you're just maybe potentially plugging in numbers or clicking through it. It's like if you're in a setting where you actually have to think strategically about doing something. I think that people, and AI has been around for a while, so we know that. But I think that nowadays, because of the surge of technology, especially in younger individuals, that is becoming a place where we can be lazy and just let the internet and technology do it for us. And that's the problem I see.
I agree. Do you think that, okay, let's talk about it when it comes to like everyday life though, everyday life and aspects. Do you think, okay, for example, I know when we were talking about this earlier, you were saying how there's like a robot now, like
right, the Tesla bot.
What is that? I don't really know much about that.
Yeah, so I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Elon Musk had a, what do you call it, like a Tesla convention, and it was Tesla bots and automated cars there, that self-driving cars, and where nobody was in the driver's seat, and then it was also Tesla bots where people said that it was controlled by a human in behind the scenes, but people were concerned. People weren't concerned that it's too far.
Like it's going too
It's
far.
like, where do you draw the line? And I wonder, people watching, what do y'all think about if y'all saw the Tesla bot, or if y'all see self-driving cars, or you see anything that kind of takes away from the human aspect of things that you think may need safety or may need more regulation? Do you guys feel any kind of fear, I guess?
Yeah. Is there
It's
any
a big,
fear with that?
yeah, it's a big thing. What do you think though?
Do I have fear about it? It's like yes and no, because yet okay. For example, I need certain assistance because when I'm driving and that thing say beep beep beep, like I need it's good to have, because if it wasn't there and I had to rely on my own, I probably would have hit a lot more cars than I have.
Right.
So I'm saying it's like it's weird to, like, how can we gauge what's too much?
Yeah.
We can't really, it's hard to gauge because somebody else might think that's too much. Somebody else might be like, why do you need that in a car? That doesn't even make any sense. You could just do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? So everyone has their own level, what they feel like it goes too far. I think it's too far when people like want to have robots take care of their kids and stuff like that.
Right.
I think that's a little too far.
Yeah, I think that AI, generally speaking, is harmful in ways that we won't see till down the road. That it'll be effects later that we see that have not taken into account instantly, that people will now they don't really understand what's going on, because if people see harmful things if it's right in front of you. If I had to do something with like war, or I had to do something with people's day to day, they can't do anything that they could do prior. But I believe, like we're going to speak about, in betweens, like when we're going to talk about crime identification, job finding, or just critical thinking still for kids, like that's what's going to be hit
hit the hardest.
That's what
Someone say, yeah, it's scary, and taking away jobs is making it too easy for students. So speaking of what you were just saying, let's get into it. Let's get into this, y'all. Okay, so me and Dearty wanted to bring up some topics that are some of the things that we thought are like kind of questionable when it comes to AI, because I think a lot of us already know like the good stuff about it, the stuff that we are appreciative of having, versus the stuff that's kind of like, that's a little weird. So there is improper detection of minorities in criminal cases. which I think we've probably touched on a little bit in another podcast before, but they're saying that a lot of people of color are often misidentified. Like the technology doesn't know how to pick up on darker skin tones yet, and
Right.
doesn't really know how to tell the difference between certain people yet, as opposed to like white counterparts and stuff. So of course, with any technology, it takes time, trial and error for it to perfect. So I feel that it's not fair that some people are going to be in the crossfire of that, because the technology is trying to learn how to get better and sharper at that thing. So that's not fair for the people who get wrongfully accused of something just because like they haven't figured it out yet. So that's crazy. I think I can see how using technology in the criminal system could be good, because sometimes with humans, they have their own bias, like an actual person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you rely too much on it, then you just wrongfully accusing people of stuff they didn't do. So
Yeah, I'm definitely on the same type of vibe. I don't believe personally that in a situation like that, when it has to deal with crime, has to do with suspects, that people should be identified through facial recognition and machine learning, because that's what they heavily rely on in certain cases. And I do believe that once facial identification identifies a person, the police will be more quick to not try to do anything else for the case. They'll try.
Right. Like if I'm saying I didn't do it, but the technology said and I did, they're gonna believe that and not believe me.
That's I 100% believe that they're more inclined to just strictly go to whatever the technology says, which is a problem in itself.
Yeah.
And like you said, it can be worse for dark skinned individuals, and unlawful arrests have already happened. People haven't even been at the crime scene of the facial recognition where they say it's this person. They haven't been there. They've been in different states. They was driving while the crime was going on. One lady was pregnant and they said that she did the crime and it wasn't even her.
That's crazy, bro.
So it's just, there has to be some type of human aspect if we're going to use AI. I believe at the end of the day, it's not going to be any positives if we can't have any human filtration, in between it all. So
Dana just said, just read the other day, parents were suing Elon Musk because their sons were in a Tesla self-driving car and didn't see the emergency vehicles and crashed into them. One son died and the other son severely injured. So I guess the car didn't react the way it was supposed to, because they the people weren't even driving it. So you expect the car to handle it, and it didn't. So
and it's like, and that's the problem. The problem you bring up is the people that are in the crossfires. Now you have people passing away. I also read a case and learned in class also about a Tesla car going into a pond, and it's just, you can't. Of course, there are going to be those problems because, like you say, they're testing it for it to be perfect one day. But it's like that crossfire is not worth it, in my opinion.
Okay, so what do you think about like people who do like that we have technology to make our everyday lives easier? Not in everyday, not when it comes to phones, but just with the self-driving situation. People do like the fact that we don't have to work as hard to do certain things.
Yes.
And I can't blame somebody for feeling like that. So what do you think?
Me neither. Me neither. I can't blame somebody for feeling like that either. Because honestly, from my perspective, and I was going to get into this later, is that I think AI is positive.
Yeah. I was going to say, you think that, so yeah.
Yeah, and all of its, even of its consequences, I think that its positives just outweigh. And for the everyday person, I believe that it will be beneficial with regulations and policies in place that can strategically critique, what's going on, that it's just not free range, of course. But I don't see too many problems with it, not gonna lie. But okay, real quick. Quick AI trivia. I want people in the chat to answer what you think. I want Deja, put your thinking cap on your AI.
I don't know what he's gonna ask, by the way.
No, she doesn't know. Nobody knows. So I want everybody to give an answer. It's multiple choice. Okay. So when it's basic, when was AI? No, it's basic. I'm saying it's not hard. Okay. When was AI created? Okay. So you have 3 options.
But wait. I gotta ask. Just in general, or are we talking about a certain specific type of AI?
No, just general.
General. Oh God. Okay.
We're just talking about when the idea was conceived.
Okay.
And pushed forward. Okay, let's go. So 3 options: 1990s, 1950s, 2010s. People in the chat, let me get some answers. People in the chat, let me get some answers.
Okay, I'm going with
What do you think?
I'm gonna go with 90s.
90s? Okay. Okay.
Wait,
Let's see.
what y'all think? What y'all think?
2010s. Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
mm.
2010s.
Cause that's so
See,
broad. Like I'm thinking, I
yeah,
don't know.
it's bro, but I'm
Very
just
broad, very
I'm
broad.
just trying to see
Okay.
because
We have a
1990s.
1990s.
Okay, another
But you know, some of y'all
1990s.
like to look up answers. Y'all not slick.
I see Dan says
1950s.
1950s.
Okay, we got
Okay,
all varieties.
50 just because that sound crazy. Okay.
I was gonna say that too, but I'm thinking like, I don't know.
Okay. We ready?
Yeah.
The answer was 1950s.
I knew, I knew it. I knew it. That's BS.
So
I need to know what was going on in the
yeah,
50s. That's
a
BS.
little brief. The birth of AI came in the 1950s when basically they did an imitation game. It was like a huge thing back then where they basically tested a computer versus a human, and then it
Mm,
was a questionnaire person that didn't know which one was the computer, which one's the human. So if the computer could imitate what the human did almost perfect, and the questionnaire couldn't decide who was a human, who was a computer, then the computer passed. So
oh
that was the
wow.
first type of
You're not getting
identif-
no money.
identification of AI. So
Okay, shout out
1950s
y'all who got that
is
right.
the answer. So,
I want to remind everybody that I suck at trivia. I think every time we do this on this podcast, I get it wrong every
indeed.
time. But continue.
But yeah,
Ugh,
so yeah, that was the first. The AI passed. That was the huge thing back then. The
okay.
computer passed the test. So yeah,
All
that's
right.
that's where it
Fine.
started.
Fine. What do you? Okay. What do you think about? I know we'll have some trivia later, but what do you think about? So I think this one probably has personally affected me recently.
Okay, let's hear it.
This next one is how job companies are using AI to determine if there are certain if people are qualified candidates or not.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, most jobs, like even when you're just out in the world, they'll be like, make sure your resume kind of mirrors what the description is saying because humans aren't looking at it anymore. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
computer saying if you're qualified. But they've talked about how there's some bias with that, which I didn't realize, but I saw on Forbes it said, I'm going to read this. It says AI tools in hiring are subject to bias and discrimination, and hiring managers know that. Nearly all of the survey respondents said that there's biased recommendations when assessing candidates, including being liable to age, gender, economic status, racial, ethnic, whatever. So it's like I was like, I never thought about or say if you're a person who just hasn't really mastered how to like have your resume look exactly how a robot would deem acceptable, then you're
Yeah.
not going to get an opportunity. And I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but I do think because humans aren't taking the due diligence to really look through candidate applications, it's becoming a problem to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
It's huge bias that comes with that, and
Yeah.
people have been talking about this for a while. Is how AI is creating bias because of what they see as the ideal candidate.
Mm,
And and I want to bring up a quick little stat. Is this is
mm,
for corporate executives? So I know this is type percentages, but
yeah.
corporate executives 76.6% are white. So that should entail you even for maybe mid-level jobs or high-level
What
jobs.
you think is like qualified.
Right. So AI is seeing that maybe white male has these certain criteria. That's what they see as the ideal candidate. Of course, the AI doesn't have any racial bias as it is created, but as
Mm,
it learns the new material and what it sees as successful or who
mm,
does well in this business, but look at what the majority who's in this business. So it's
yeah.
creating biases for gender, race,
Mm-hmm.
if you
Age.
have age, if you have disabilities,
Yeah.
the AI is just filtering
Yeah. And
because
then
it. Mhm.
yeah, someone said that's so messed up. And then like my thought. So when I was working at a certain school,
Yeah.
they and mind you, this school was smaller, but in the human resources department, we literally had to look through every application,
Mm.
like making sure and then had to meet as a group to say why you thought that person wasn't or was qualified. Like they both had the same things. Well, why? What's your reasoning? Like you had to
Mm.
explain it. And then like the HR department would come back to us being like, no, I think there's some bias here. You need to actually interview that person, or no,
Mm.
there's some discrimination right here. Like you need to put this person back in the pool. So I know that can't happen at every company because some places
Yeah.
thousands of applications, but I do feel like there needs to be some step in between where like a human sees, I guess, who's going to the next round being like, okay, Is this making
Yes.
sense? Is there some similarity? Like something, because it just
Something.
shouldn't be, oh yeah, okay, the computer said these people are qualified. Let's move on. That's just not right.
Right. And I don't think that there's a clear identification if you're applying for a job, if it's using those AI filtration systems. So
Yeah.
you're applying to a job with hopeful that maybe a human or someone is actually reading your application, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not. And I think
Yeah.
that's where the issue lies, is that there's not enough clarity. And as we reiterated before, not enough regulation and policy in place
Mm-hmm.
to not just let it have free range.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Right.
corporations should be having that human aspect to make sure that it's no, like you said, bias.
Because
Which
let's be clear, I hated sitting there reading so many. I used to be like, bro, like,
that is true though.
so I
It's mhm,
understand. I
mhm.
get it, and it's too time consuming. But there got to be like some sort of mid step or something. There got to be
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I do believe that automated task is very helpful in that aspect,
Mm-hmm.
because a researcher said 45% of automated tasks will be taken away by AI. So I think inevitably with the
Mm.
job market, AI is going to come and do what it's do.
Like
It's just going to,
your task can be done
with the computer,
with the
they
computer.
won't need you anymore.
Mm.
Bigger corporations, they go on penny pinch as much as they can. So
Yeah, that is true.
many jobs are at risk.
We're gonna have to start fighting for why we valuable up in here. Gonna have to be like, please, I can give you
Not
some more
facts.
opinions. Like, you got to start fighting against the robots.
I do
Lord.
think that's why a lot of people are very, not too happy about AI.
Yeah.
And because
And it hurts a lot of people who haven't had a chance to like get a college education, or even if you
yep,
have, like,
true,
for
true.
certain job markets that, like, that they think they could just wipe away people's jobs with the robot or technology, which is just not right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
I know that in the because we not a political podcast, and
I'm dead.
we not a news channel, but we do talk about current events sometimes.
Mm.
And I know you saw that the CEO of United
Oh
Healthcare
yeah,
got.
yeah.
I don't want this. I don't want the lie to end, so I ain't gonna say nothing crazy. But I thought it was interesting, so it made me do more research on it, and it
Mm.
was saying that. Oh, and I heard this in a podcast, but they were saying that there have been a lot of health insurance companies that have used AI to like approve or deny people when it came to them, I
Mm.
guess, wanting certain, like, have their insurance pay for certain when it comes to certain care.
Oh.
And they it was able to like form the AI technology to like deny majority of the claims, like majority
Mm.
of those things. So there's like, it's all this data coming out now where it's like United Healthcare was one of them that had like over 35 or 40% of denying all of these claims, which was a significant difference from years prior. So I thought that was
Mm.
crazy, like using technology for bad
Yeah,
in a sense.
yeah. And now on the other side of it, I see that the healthcare system is using AI to analyze patterns to predict future medical risk, which I thought was pretty cool.
Mm. Oh,
Having
wait,
it.
real quick, DeAndre.
Um,
Somebody said, did you see his behavior when going to his bond hearing? Who?
uh,
Oh, the CEO guy?
no, no, no. CEO guys passed away. She's talking about the killer.
Oh, the killer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
no,
didn't
I
see
didn't
that.
see that. I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Side note, I do think that a lot of the popular, like making him popular and kind of like it's
Like a
weird to me.
vigilante.
Yeah, but like making him like a vigilante, but also like people are liking him. Like, I see a lot of posts and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff on social media about him being like this hero figure, and I just
Mm.
don't see it like that. I mean, people claim that the CEO potentially took a lot of lives, so his life is equal to
Mm.
that. But it's just like I don't see it like that
Yeah.
on this baseline. He shot and killed somebody, so. Anyways,
Right.
I do think that the healthcare system is getting better. Do you think it's getting better with AI though? I think it is.
Like, oh, just in like the use of technology has
The
up.
use of
Yeah, I
technology.
think
Yeah.
so. I think so
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Healthcare wouldn't be where it is today without the use of
Mm-hmm. AI remove my comment.
See that AI work overtime. I'm telling you. That's what I said. All I said was, y'all see the CEO? I was like, I can't even say certain stuff. I'm telling you, AI will
Yeah.
get you
They
down,
be
man.
tracking everything.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. But no, yeah, I do think healthcare has gotten much better with tech. We've talked
Mm-hmm.
about that with Brandon on the diabetes
Yeah, we did. We did.
episode. So I definitely think technology and the advancements have definitely help for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. For sure.
Quick trivia time. Get your questions ready in the chat. Get your questions
You mean your
ready in the
answer?
chat. Oh, yeah, answers. Get your answers ready in the chat. Okay. So we know a lot of people have experience in an environment that has used AI. Most likely, people don't realize it. They say 70% of your day-to-day stuff has some type of AI in it, which is
Okay.
crazy. But that is not the question. The question is,
Okay.
how much do you think productivity increases when using AI? Okay. So do
Like a
you,
person's productivity?
yeah, person's productivity when they're utilizing AI, how much do you think it increases? Okay.
Got it.
First option, 26%, -8%,
All right. See, now it's getting confusing.
40%. What do you think? Productivity. What do you think?
But
Like
I'm going with
productivity
40.
increases
Forget it. I'll go
40%.
because productivity, are you saying like how much
Let's
more
say
can
work you
be
get,
done?
like, yes, like work will be done. Like, let's say you
How much
work.
work would be done with the
Yes.
addition of having, okay, I'm going to go with 40%, but
Okay, we
don't
got another
blow
40.
me. Don't
We got
blow me.
we got an 85 that wasn't an option, but
What was the first option?
the first option was 26. Second option was -8. The last was 40. We got a lot of 40s in the chat. We got a lot of 40s in the chat.
Yeah, 40 in the chat.
I just cut to the chase. The answer is 40. The answer is
I was gonna say
40%.
don't start.
But I wanted to say that is crazy because think about if you're working in a session where you are getting, you want to get 2 pages done. Now you can get 2.5 pages done. That is a huge increase. And even if people are using it, a lot of people do use it to just do their work. But if many people
Yeah.
are doing it to just get an idea
Mm-hmm.
or get a some structure or a format for something that
Yeah,
they're
just
doing, it's
get your
mhm.
brain to think, like to
Yes,
get spark some ideas in a sense.
yes, it's very helpful. So I just thought that was huge
Mm-hmm.
impact that people who don't use it may should look into it to
Mm-hmm.
just try.
And I think that's a something that I want to take
Mhm.
heed to, because I do feel that I don't use technology to my advantage as much as I should.
Mhm.
Like spending way more hours to do something when it could be shortened significantly with just
Yeah,
maybe using certain tools or whatever. So
right,
I
right.
definitely want to do that, more of that for sure. But overall though, do you think that, but I wanted to, well, before I get there, I wanted to talk about a few things that are like the positive like the upsides to it, which we kind of already
Mhm.
mentioned some of them, but I think that what is it? They had some, with yeah.
What?
So real quick, well, I'll just say in school somebody needed a headshot
Mhm.
and they didn't have one, so they used AI to do it to get a headshot. I was just like, I guess that's clever, but that's so hilarious to me. Like, I don't
Is
know.
that a thing that is like okay
I
though?
guess. Well, I'm saying
Oh,
I can see that being a positive, but I'm just like,
mhm.
yo, now you got an AI up photo.
AI
Like, is
headshot. Yeah,
this?
that's crazy. That's crazy.
But I mean, if you don't have a headshot or you can't go
Ford,
get
yeah,
one
is
done or something,
resourceful.
it's like whatever. I don't know. But
It is
anyway.
resourceful.
But aside from that, do you think that it is dumbing us down, or is it overall elevating and pushing the human race forward to
Okay,
with having it?
again, like we spoke about in prior during the political podcast after the
Mm-hmm.
election, I feel like I am very, my ideas are because of the spaces I'm in.
Mm.
So but I do believe that the general population will be dumbed down
Yeah.
by the use of AI,
Mm-hmm.
just in everyday tasks, or like you said, we're looking for completing assignments or completing work. People will always go the easier route,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that that would be the majority.
Yeah.
But what I do see in the positive side is like large corporations
Mm-hmm.
or like the healthcare, like we brought up the healthcare system,
Yeah.
or one day maybe the crime system.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, I believe, will be seeing a positive, curve in due
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the long run, the utilization of AI without critical regulations, especially for younger kids,
Especially.
it will be very hard to contain like what someone really knows or what
Mm-hmm.
they just regurgitated information from
Because
an
I shouldn't
AI.
have to go to the daggone store and I give you certain money and you looking at me like I gave you the wrong change.
Mm,
Just because you don't know the fact that I just want even change back. Like,
hmm.
it's the smallest stuff, but it's just,
Right.
come on now. Come on.
And one thing also I want to bring up is not having to write on paper, which is it's not a thing from AI, but like typing or just technology in general, it's definitely been spelling is definitely going to take a turn.
You're right. Spelling is gonna get them.
I think for me, spelling is just I literally if I put something similar to a word, it's gonna tell me the right word. So I
Yeah.
don't when I'm typing fast, I don't even try to spell the right word
Yeah.
sometimes. So I believe that something like that will definitely take a turn if it already hasn't for me at least. It has.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yo, the way DeAndre talk is, I'd be like, huh?
Bro.
It's hilarious. But either way, I mean, hey, everything in life has positive and
That's
negative.
true.
It is what it is. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Like, they just better not be try to put no chip in me. I'm not going for that. But do you have any hashtag go cultivate before we get out of here?
I just have one hashtag go toss fit. Everybody try to critically think one time a day. So that's all I have to say. Just take time
Fact.
to try to reason out a problem, create a
Yes.
plan. You know, the new year's coming up. Make a resolution of a real structured plan or something because I think people are losing structure in
Yes.
life, and
Yes.
things are just as they come, and people are
You
just
want somebody to
allowed it.
think for you. Like, what should I
Yes,
think? What should I
yes, man,
think?
yes, yes. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my go cultivate.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like every time I ask you, I never have one. So I always be like, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But no, I appreciate everybody for tuning into the pod to talk
That's
about
though.
AI. We will have another pod next week, and then we're on holiday break. Okay. Everybody need a little breaky break. But yeah, we'll be back next week for before our last one for the year, and then we hopefully we will see y'all. We will see y'all in 2025. Everybody gonna make it. I already know. But yeah, we love y'all and we appreciate.
Hold on now. You might
Am I
see that
glitching? Am
spelling.
I
That
AI
spelling.
robot?
So you know, that spelling. Nah, play.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We love y'all. We will see y'all next week. Okay, peace.
Thank y'all for joining. Peace out.